Did you have a mishap?
I did. I made the mistake of like sitting downriver,
the shower
so to speak, downriver in the tub of the shower steamer. The shower steamer was still in the back.
And hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is extra special because I'm going to be reattempting shower steamers. For those of you who watch my channel, you know that I have a previous video where I tried to make shower steamers and that was a huge fail. And if you want to check that video out, it's up here. But since that video and in the comments of that video, you guys have provided so many awesome tips, and I'm going to be applying those tips to today's video, and hopefully I'm going to be making some actual usable shower steamers that aren't falling apart, and it's a success story today. Fingers crossed. If you're wondering why it's so dark out, it's because we've had just straight up rain for the past week. I feel like it's been just relentless rain. We had a pocket of sunshine a little bit a couple days ago, but it's just been so dark. Right now it's 8 in the morning and usually the sun is coming in, but it is so gloomy right now. And that's another reason why I decided to make shower steamers today, because you gotta get something going in the air that's rejuvenating, and what is more revitalizing than menthol crystals. So one of the really big tips that you guys gave me from the last video was that the mold wasn't right and I should try using a mooncake press, and that's what I ended up buying from Amazon. This got pretty good reviews, and I saw in the reviews of that Amazon listing people actually using this for bath bombs and shower steamers, so that's pretty helpful. And it's a simple plunger type of mold, and this particular listing came with a bunch of different kinds of mold types. You can see there's a few flowers, and actually they're all flowers, but any one of these would make, if they work, would make a really beautiful bath bomb. I think for me, I'm not going to try the more intricate stamps for today. I think I might stick with something a little bit more simple. But it's nice to see that this mooncake press came with so many different types of flower stamps. So I have some variety if I ever want to move forward in the future. So I think for today's attempt, I'm gonna stick with this one where there's not as many ridges, it's more straightforward. So this mooncake press did not come with any instructions, so I'm basically figuring this out as I go along. But what I think I do to assemble it is I take the shaft part of it and I screw that part on first. So I will do that. And then the plunger piece has also a screw section, which I will put my stamp onto, and then I screw it down so that it aligns with the shaft, and then there you go, I have a mooncake press. And so how this press will work is I will put the shower steamer into here, I'll put it down on my tray, press down, and then when it lifts up, hopefully there is a shower steamer at the end of this.
I'm sure you will do a great job.
Yeah.
Your previous shower steamers smelled great in the shower.
Yeah, we actually used them, and even though they cracked and were not really sellable up to my standards, they worked as they should, where they released a lot of the menthol into the air, and it was one of the nicest showers I've ever had. I did change up the recipe based on your recommendations and your comments and your emails. Thank you guys so much for trying to help me out with this. One thing that I'm still doing the same from last time is dissolving menthol crystals in alcohol before I begin. And because it takes a while for these crystals to fully dissolve in the alcohol, I'm gonna do that as my first step. So I'll just measure out my menthol crystals into a bowl and top it off with just about enough isopropyl alcohol to cover it. And then after some time, it should all dissolve on its own. For those who watched my first shower steamer video, you guys know that the reason why I'm pretty determined to add shower steamers to my line is because it's one of the most requested products I get asked about all the time when I'm at the farmer's market. And speaking of farmer's market, I want to shout out Holly, who drove all the way to Kingston to say hi to me, but I wasn't there and I feel really badly about that. But we did have a really nice FaceTime because Kale was there, so I'm glad about that. But yeah, again, if you guys want to come and visit the farmer's market and see my products in person, you can do that. Hopefully I'm there. Sometimes I'm not. I'm sorry. But she was the sweetest subscriber, and I was really excited to FaceTime with you. So when it came to shower steamers, this is a product that I've been asked about since I started doing farmers markets, and it's been way too long. I need to master this, and that's why I'm determined to make a good shower steamer. Hopefully this version works. I've seen this a lot too from my comments, that the magic of a strong shower steamer is in these menthol crystals. This ingredient, menthol crystals, are really potent. They smell a lot like mint. This is a reason why people really love shower steamers, because this scent in the shower is incredibly soothing. So I have my menthol crystals over here, and I'm just going to add a layer of isopropyl alcohol so that it can start to dissolve. So here are my menthol crystals in alcohol. I crushed up the menthol crystals a little bit more to help it dissolve a little bit easier. That's something that I didn't do last time, because I found that if I didn't do that, it took a while to actually dissolve. So I'm gonna set this aside and start measuring out my dry ingredients. So I have my baking soda and citric acid measured out in this stainless steel bowl. A shower steamer is basically like a bath bomb, but you're not dissolving it in a tub full of water. It's gonna sit at the bottom of your shower. So you don't really need all of the stuff that I would normally put into a bath bomb. This recipe is pretty basic. It'll have baking soda, citric acid, a few oils, the essential oils, the menthol crystals, and yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. To help with binding the baking soda and citric acid and all the ingredients together, I'm gonna add some coconut oil and also, of course, a little bit of hemp seed oil to ensure that the steamer stays together in one unit. One of the big things you guys told me about with my previous attempt was that my mix was way too dry, and I totally agree with you guys. It was a little bit dry. So having an oil is important for this reason, but you guys also need to understand that you don't want too much oil, because you don't want the shower steamer to act like an oil slick at the bottom of your shower, because that could be potentially super dangerous for your customers. So you're only adding just enough so that it binds the shower steamer together. And of course, when it comes to a solid oil like coconut oil, you want to make sure that it's completely melted before you add it to your citric acid and baking soda. So I'm going to zap this in the microwave and melt this down. So here is my coconut oil all melted. I'm just gonna add a little bit of hemp seed oil. And to add to my oils, I'm going to add my essential oils. And for this shower steamer, I'm going to just do a eucalyptus scent, because there's already the mint scent from the menthol, and eucalyptus paired with mint is really, really magical. So my menthol crystals are now completely dissolved. I don't know if you can see it, but I see no more crystals in here. So I'm gonna combine my alcohol and crystals, my oils, into my dry ingredients and mix them all up. And we'll see if the consistency is as it should be. A lot of you guys told me that the consistency should be just like a bath bomb, where if you squeeze it, it keeps its shape. Fingers crossed, that's what happens here. I'm gonna add the crystals in like this. I'm going to add the oils. And I can tell you right off the bat right now that this is much wetter than my first attempt. So I'm just gonna incorporate those oils in with my spatula first, and then get my hands in there. It smells amazing so far, in case you're wondering what the scent is like over here on this end. Now I'm going to mix it all together by hand. This is reminding me of my early bath bomb days, where this is how I would literally make bath bombs, just with my hands. I remember just rubbing the mix together in my hand just to get it all incorporated in there. So I think we are good. I take some and I squeeze it. It does form without breaking apart, so that is a good sign. So I'm going to start molding now. This is really exciting. I'm a little nervous because last time, you guys remember, it was kind of a fail. Let me get you a good angle here. So I have my press ready. I'm just going to, I also have my scale ready on the side here. I don't know if you can see it, but I want to just know exactly how much I'm putting in here, just so I can make all of the shower steamers the same size. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there and see if I can get it to the size I want. I'm aiming for a 2-ounce shower steamer. And there you go, that's 2 ounces right there. So the next step, I'm going to go and just press it onto my tray. Wish me luck. Pressing it down. Oh my god, it made a shower steamer. Let me show you guys. And I was able to make a perfectly formed shower steamer, so that is really exciting. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Wow. I'm just gonna keep going with it, gonna keep it rolling. I really think that the flower shape is adorable. I am a fan of that. And just with using this type of mold, 2 ounces of shower steamer mix does fit in there nicely, so that is good. 2 ounces is a really good size as well. This should last however long a typical shower is. So it makes it perfect one-time use sizes. Just going to go over here, press down, and pop it out. Wow. And another tip too when it comes to making shower steamers, you want to make sure that your shower steamer has a flat shape at the bottom, because you don't really want something like this rolling around your shower. I'm definitely getting the hang of it. And just from me moving them around like that, I can definitely feel that it's a lot sturdier than my first attempt. So that was the key, guys. It was, my mix wasn't wet enough. I was missing a few key ingredients that was gonna help bind the shower steamer together. And now that I figured it out, I'm really excited to make these and add them to my line finally. Everyone's suggestions were so helpful when it came to making these guys. Super, super helpful. You guys have been so generous with that, so thank you so much. Now when it comes to coloring these shower steamers, I think if I do other scents, like it'd be really nice to do a lavender of this. I'll probably definitely add color so that I can differentiate between the different shower steamers. I think for eucalyptus, it makes sense to keep it white. I'm unsure if I would use a bath bomb dye, because as soon as water touches it, it will run. And you'll see that streak of purple in the bottom of your shower, and I don't know how open people are to that. So for lavender, probably use a purple mica. It might be ways to use something a little bit more pricey like alkanet root powder. Since it's not touching your skin anyways, you really want to save those really good ingredients for stuff like soap, stuff that your skin can potentially benefit from. So when it comes to a product like shower steamers that just wash down the drain, when it comes to color, I would probably just, a mica would be best. Guys, I'm just flying through these shower steamers. They're just so easy to make. I bet, Kale, I bet you can do this.
That easy?
I definitely think it's that easy. Pretty straightforward.
I love that smell.
You smell, yeah, I really like eucalyptus too.
It gets into your eyes, it gets into your throat, it gets into your
in a good way.
In a very good way.
It's very sinus clearing. And I know you can't really claim that your products do that on its label or anything, because that's verging onto medicinal territory. But for me, who has seasonal allergies, just making these guys is really refreshing. And that's another thing you always want to be careful to when you're making products is making claims. You are not supposed to be doing that, like in terms of medical claims. Even though you personally believe your product does this and is great for that medical condition, you can't use those types of descriptors when marketing, selling your products, labeling your products. I mean, at least in Canada, it's just not, you're not legally allowed to do that. And it's to help protect the customer. It's not to inconvenience you and make life difficult for you as a seller. It's meant to protect the everyday customer from people that will sell potentially harmful products to people. So that's something to keep in mind, and it might be frustrating to see your competition making claims that their products cure this or cure that, but just to that I would say focus on yourself and your brand and do your best to abide by the rules and regulations of your country. It ultimately, it's the right thing to do. If you want to run a business, it's best to do it with integrity. At least that's what I found. Even though, as I'm making this, it seems very sinus clearing, I wouldn't use that in any of my marketing or labeling whatsoever. That's actually been a pretty big problem that I've seen in the soaping community, is people really frustrated with other soap makers who describe their products that do this and that, and I understand that frustration totally, because these people that do that definitely profit from it, but it's just best to stay in your own lane and stop comparing yourself to other people. It's not gonna do you any good. So there you go. We have our shower steamers. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, about 15 of them from this batch, and just a little bit more, which I don't think I can make more of. I can make probably a tiny one. Let me attempt that right now, actually. Let me make a baby steamer out of this. But when you have leftover product, you can either save it and use it for the next batch, or you can make little sample sizes that you can give away for free, which is what I've been usually doing with my leftover stuff. Throwing it out is probably, it's not really a great idea. It's pretty usable. So either make it into something you can use at home, give it away for free as a sample, or yeah, just get creative with your leftovers. I try to do this with all of my products. Try to make sure nothing gets wasted, because it's literally, it's money down the drain. And you might think, well, giving it away as a free sample is money down the drain, but it's not. You're letting your customer sample a little bit of something that could potentially bring them back. I find giving away freebies has been really good for customer retention and getting the customer to buy from me again. So I have this tiny amount of bath bomb, or sorry, shower steamer mix, and it's about 70 grams. So let's see if I can press this into some sort of moon cake. Getting it upside down might be difficult, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Well, let's see if I can press it down. That might make it easier to flip it over. Then flip it over. Oh. And I was able to make a little tiny shower steamer from that. Now that they're all formed, the only thing left to do is to let them dry, and I will come back to you guys once they are solid and give you an update on how they did. Good morning, everybody. It is now the next day, and I am going to show you how these shower steamers turned out after drying for about 12 hours. So as you can see, they look just like they did yesterday. They didn't expand, they didn't fall apart, and they are the perfect size. And I will cut to some footage now of Kale testing these out. So Kale is gonna try out the shower steamer.
Fizzing my fingers already.
And you're gonna give us a review?
Yeah.
All right, go at it.
Okay.
Bye. So Kale is freshly showered, and how did it go?
I think the shower steamer worked really well. I had it in the back of the shower so that the kind of trunk of my body was blocking a lot of the water flow coming down, and that allowed just kind of some spray to ricochet my body down to the steamer. And the pace of how it was dissolving was really good. I could almost immediately smell that eucalyptus and menthol smell coming up, you know, only 5-10 seconds after I put it down and the water started coming down.
It wasn't in the direct shower stream, right? It was like, it was being splashed?
Yes, yeah, splash, and like maybe a little bit of water coming from the bottom of the tub coming up and sloshing against it too.
And it lasted the whole shower?
It lasted how long I wanted it to. So my routine in the shower, if we're gonna get intimate here, is I do kind of everything, and then at the very end,
everything.
At the very end, I sit down and I use our sugar scrub on my feet and my ankles. I really like getting my feet down there.
Did you have a mishap?
I did. I made the mistake of like sitting downriver.
The shower
so to speak, downriver in the tub of the shower steamer. The shower steamer was still in the back. And when I sat down, that means like the core of my body isn't like blocking a lot of the flow. So that's when a lot of the shower steamer dissolved out there. But I was like, okay, I'm towards the end anyways, and I was using our lovely rosemary mint sugar scrub on my ankles. I started getting this sensation kind of in the area in which I sit on the tub. You can imagine, and it was quite the sensation. It's like you know, menthol sensation down in my midullar section down here. And
midullar, huh?
And then it really dawned on me, I'm like, I was just sitting in these menthol crystals, and
you were sitting in the downstream.
Yep. I was downstream of the shower streamer, and that was a mistake. So I started feeling it was like it was getting really intense very fast, and then I started like using some soap to
wash it off,
mitigate it.
Yeah.
And that made it worse. It just kind of spread it around. So
I see.
But I don't know. It's 15-20 minutes later now, and
are you fine?
I still feel it, but it's not as bad now.
So this is all to say it worked. It was a great shower steamer. It lasted a long time, but don't let it touch your skin, or don't sit in the downstream or the runoff in the shower, because it can be quite painful. It's a really concentrated menthol, and that's why it's not recommended to put this stuff in a bath bomb, because you do not want to be bathing in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So 5 out of 5 stars from Kale, except for the fact that he sat in the runoff and thus experienced what it's like to sit in menthol crystal water, which I have to remind you guys is not pleasant. So these guys should not be thrown into a bathtub. It won't be relaxing at that point. It might feel quite painful. So these are meant just for the shower. Make sure that if you're selling these, that you have that verbiage on your label or on your product listing, or both. But as a vessel for delivering really strong menthol scent that soothes, I tried these out in the shower and they are absolutely fantastic. The scent is amazing. It feels like you're at the spa. If you want the exact recipe where I give the percentages, I give the weight in grams, and also the step-by-step walkthrough of exactly what I did, then you can head down to my Patreon, which is linked down in the description below. And speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to my Bubble BFFs. You can see their names over here. There are some amazing business owners, people that are aspiring to create soap and bath and body businesses. So if you want to check them out, I have a few of their businesses linked down below. But if you want access to my recipes and just see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, there's a tier just for that. And thank you to each and every one of you guys who have chosen to support me over on Patreon and continue to love and support the content that I make. You guys are amazing. And as a follow-up video, I also planned to show you guys how I package these guys for sale. For a lot of viewers on my channel, you guys not only want to know how to make these stuff, but also how to sell them. So stay tuned for that. And that is it. Thank you so much for following me on this journey of making shower steamers from failure to success. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome people, and keep supporting and loving one another, and also keep making beautiful things. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.